Hi all, it's Tom from The Successful Customer, and it's time for another Customer Success in 3 minutes. So today we're going to go back to customer lifetime value. If you joined us for the last edition of CS in 3, you'll remember, or at least I hope you remember, that I said CS, as we know it today, is all about LTV. But before you start making a big deal about this, we need to dive into the math a little bit so you don't get yourself into trouble when talking about it. So I think most CS professionals recognize the formula LTV equals revenue over churn rate. Looking at an example of this with an average revenue per account of $24K and a churn rate of 10%, your LTV is $240K, pretty sweet. So as the head of the customer success, you're probably feeling pretty good, maybe even doing your happy dance, especially since the new CFO is pointing to your numbers. You're thinking, hey, I'm looking pretty good. But she's thinking, yeah, not the brightest crayon in the box of Crayolas. Hey, so what gives? All right, let's think about LTV again. Yeah, it's actually about how much money you're going to make over the lifetime of the customer, so we have to add something to get us to profit. It's easy, though. Let's just add in percent gross margin, which will get us to gross profit. Okay, so now we should be good. Let's look at the numbers again with a gross margin of 80%, pretty realistic number. Our LTV goes to 192K. Yeah, we've taken a bit of a haircut, but it's still a pretty good number. The problem is we're not quite done yet. If you take a deeper dive to come up with a number that you can get past your CFO, you need to add another factor. So let's look at the formula again. We started with the same ARPA times gross margin, but this time we add in this factor K, which has to do with discount rate. We're talking discounted cash flows, which are pretty hard to explain. Yeah, but actually, they really aren't. Here's a way to think about them. I've got a deal for you. You give me 10 grand today, and in 10 years, I'll give you 10 grand back. Yeah, not such a good deal. Why? Well, it's because $1 I'm going to give you in 10 years just isn't worth as much as $1 I'm going to give you today. That's all that a discounted cash flow does, and we need to include it. So now let's throw in a discount rate, say 10%, which is pretty reasonable. Do the math. So this time our LTV is about 100 grand, not looking as good as you originally thought, and there's a bit more to consider. When you're an early stage startup, the discount rate is more like 25%. Running the math, again, we're down to under 60K, which is a quarter of where you started out. And now the CFO's frown's starting to make some sense. Okay, so right about now you're thinking, I'm not sure I want to talk about LTV, but the reality is you do want to, or at least you may have to. And the best way to do this, the best way to do it is to talk about it intelligently, which hopefully we've helped you to do. Okay, so you spent another 3 minutes with a successful customer. I trust you found these insights helpful. If you have, I look forward to you joining me for the next edition of CS in 3. In the meantime, if you want to learn more about data-driven customer success, you can go to thesuccessfulcustomer.com or just reach out to me, Tom, at thesuccessfulcustomer.com. Happy to talk with you. So until then, enjoy.